and I'm a stickler for the scriptures. I really am. But there's the scriptures and what is written in the text, and then there's the spirit of prophecy that they speak of. And what I do is I give people a certain poetic liberty to speak about the scriptures from the perspective that they see in their hearts, as long as it's not a contradiction to what was revealed in the Word made flesh. Right? Mm. So you take a scripture out of context, and that verse specifically doesn't say that, but what you use that verse to say is something that is said in Christ and Him crucified. That's what I would call poetic liberty. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? So what you said doesn't contradict the Word made flesh. So whether that verse says that in that context or not, I'm not that concerned with, nor do I think anybody else should be. We should look at the context of the scriptures as one whole context. Okay. The Word made flesh in Jesus. Yes. Now, when someone speaks about the scriptures, is what they're saying contradicting the Word made flesh in Jesus? If it is, then I'll take exception to it. If it's not, then I'll let it go. Good. Right? And sometimes, listen, I'm not perfect. I'm fallible. Sometimes I'll jump down somebody's throat before I know what they're actually saying. You know, because I am a stickler. Right? I am a stickler for the truth. And so, I mean, even to this day, the verse in Galatians, I had to learn these things about myself. The verse in Galatians, it says, faith worketh by love. Now, that verse does not say that faith comes forth from love. That's not what that verse says. Yet that's what we teach. Yeah. What it actually says there would be that faith, which shows itself active inside of a person by producing love. Right? And to help you to see it clearer, you could remove the word faith there and put the word spirit there. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. That word faith being used there is not talking about us believing. Right. It's talking about the spirit of faith. Right. It's talking about the faith that was made flesh in Jesus. So the faith that was made flesh in Jesus will show itself active in a person by bringing forth peace and love and joy and kindness and long-suffering and meekness and all those kinds of things. That's why when it gets at the end of Galatians 5, it goes into the fruit of the Spirit. Right? Right? Yeah. And one of the fruits of the Spirit is what? Love. Mm-hmm. Right? And so when he says faith which worketh by love, he's talking about the faith, not our faith. Right there. Yeah. But everybody and their mother will quote that verse as talking about love will bring forth faith towards God. Right? Now listen, it's a true statement to say that when you see God's love for you, you'll find yourself trusting Him. Sure. Right? Yeah. That's a true statement. So I'm not going to go around correcting people for what they say when they use that verse, because that's still a true statement. That's just not what that verse says. Right. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
And the reason you have to look at it that, you don't have to if you don't want to. From my perspective, if you want to actually interpret the scriptures correctly, the reason you would look at it that way is because the scriptures are a living word. Mm-hmm. They're alive. Right? And so you're not going to go and put them in a box as if they're dead words written down somewhere. Right? They're alive. Right. They speak to more than one thing simultaneously, yes, right? Yes. It's way above just a dead thought that one person put down and that's it, right? Wow. Right? And so that's why I wouldn't find fault with somebody. Not only that, you can find yourself fighting over nothing. Honestly, who cares as long as they didn't contradict the word that was made flesh in Jesus? Yeah. And there's a lot of verses like that for me. And for a while, I tried to fight. And then I decided, you know what? Who cares? It makes them happier to think that it says that. It's the way that it is. I won't fight with them about it, but when it comes up in my messages, I'll just preach it in the correct context.
Sure.
Right?
I see. Okay. It's good.